Hey everyone, we're continuing what might be the most practical lessons in these entire list of 100 lessons because, these are all the things that you need to know when you're actually living in a place. So we've seen transport, which is always very important. We've seen, how to rent and request repairs of where you live. But if there's one thing that's more important than knowing how to get your home fixed, it's your personal health. And so now, of course, we're up to the topic of seeing the doctor. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So, in this lesson, surprisingly enough, you will study the topic seeing the doctor. So, let's just go ahead and get right into the dialogue. So, we have a dialogue between a vrach and a pacient. Vrach is doctor, as in physician. So, let's see what the vrach and the physician have to say.
Здравствуйте, садитесь. Что вас беспокоит?
Здравствуйте, я простудился. Думаю, у меня грипп.
Давайте измерим температуру. Какие симптомы?
Слабость, температура. Целый день лежу в постели.
Голова болит? Мышечная слабость, озноб?
Да, еще нос заложен.
Давайте градусник. 38,7.
Может быть, вы выпишете мне какое-нибудь лекарство?
Конечно. Я выпишу рецепт, пойдете в аптеку, там все купите. Кроме таблеток, я посоветую еще традиционные методы. Пейте больше теплой жидкости. Лучше чай с медом и лимоном. Шиповник, ягоды.
А моя тетя посоветовала делать компресс из водки.
Думаю, это не очень поможет. Больше пейте и отдыхайте. Я дам вам больничный на неделю. Придете через 7 дней. Надеюсь, вы быстро поправитесь.
Спасибо, до свидания.
Okay. So, fairly normal dialogue. And if anyone's wondering how common female doctors are in Russia, I think it's actually pretty common. Russia is quite old-fashioned in some ways, like in terms of romantic and marital relations between people. Russia is still very conservative and old-fashioned, but I've noticed that there's really there's no macho sort of aspect when it comes to women being scientists or doctors or things like that. Women are very welcome and they're treated as equals in those professions. So there's not like any sexism in that regard in Russia that I've seen. I think it's very common for women to be doctors and things like that, just in case anyone was wondering. Okay, so let's go ahead and go through the dialogue. So the doctor says,
Здравствуйте, садитесь. Что вас беспокоит?
hello, sit down. What troubles you? So spokojny means basically peace or calm, and bespokojny is the opposite, without peace. So it's unpeaceful. So she's saying what disturbs you, what makes you not peaceful.
Здравствуйте, я простудился.
Okay, so he says, hello, я простудился. I got sick, or I guess I caught a cold.
Думаю, у меня грипп.
I think I have the flu. Grippe is flu. Also similar in German. In German, it's Grippe.
Давайте измерим температуру.
So, she says, давайте измерить температуру. So let's measure the temperature.
Какие симптомы?
Which symptoms, or what symptoms do you have?
Слабость, температура.
So, a slabый человек is a weak person, but slabost as a noun is weakness. So weakness and temperature. It's a little bit unfortunate. In Russian, there doesn't seem to be a common word for a fever. So the word temperatura is ambiguous because it means both, obviously, temperature, but it also means a fever. I guess in Old English they often said this as well. And in older English they would sometimes say somebody's got a temperature or somebody's running a temperature for like somebody has a fever. But it can be it can be a little bit ambiguous sometimes.
Целый день лежу в постели.
The entire day I lie in bed.
Голова болит?
Do you have a headache? Does your head hurt?
Мышечная слабость, озноб?
So, мышечная слабость means muscle weakness. And then what did she say after that? She said озноb. That's right. Озноb, which means, I guess like chills, like feeling cold.
Да, еще нос заложен.
So that one is fairly easy. Nos is nose. So yes, and also the nose is stuffy or stuffed up.
Давайте градусник.
Okay, let's take a gradusnik as a thermometer. Let's get a thermometer.
38,7.
38 and 7, so 38.7 degrees, which is a fever. Yeah, that's I'd say that's a pretty respectable fever.
Может быть, вы выпишете мне какое-нибудь лекарство?
So, лекарство is the last word there, which means medication. So his question is, maybe you prescribe me some kind of medication, or can you prescribe me some medication?
Конечно.
Of course.
Я выпишу рецепт, пойдете в аптеку, там все купите.
Okay, so recept is, I guess it's probably cognate with the word recipe. So recept is a prescription. And I guess, back in the day, pharmacists did often mix the medication in the pharmacy. Today, they're usually just pills. They just kind of dispense pills out of containers. But it used to be, like in more traditional pharmacological situations, that they would actually have different ingredients there, and they would mix the ingredients together in precise amounts in the pharmacy. So a prescription was kind of like a recipe in a way, and the word is still extant in Russian and also in German. Also in German, it's also a Rezept, so it's the same word. Even though today, obviously, like I said, usually they're just pre-made pills that come from the manufacturer, and the pharmacists don't do much more than just dispense the pills. Anyway, so she says, of course, I will write you a recept, a prescription. Пойдете в аптеку, so go into the apothecary or the pharmacy. Там все купите. There buy everything. I guess she means you can buy everything that you need there, but if you interpret it literally, she's saying buy everything in the pharmacy.
Кроме таблеток, я посоветую еще традиционные методы.
Okay. So besides the tablets, I would also suggest to you traditional methods.
Пейте больше теплой жидкости.
Drink a lot of warm liquids.
Лучше чай с медом и лимоном. Шиповник, ягоды.
So chai is tea in nearly every language in the world. So better tea with mud, honey. Better tea with honey and limonom, of course, it's lemon. Shipovnik, which I believe is rose hips, and yagody, which I think is berries, if I'm not mistaken.
А моя тетя посоветовала делать компресс из водки.
Such a ridiculously Russian thing to say. My aunt recommended to do a compress made of vodka, a vodka compress.
Ну, думаю, это не очень поможет.
Well, I think that's not going to help much.
Больше пейте и отдыхайте.
Drink more and rest.
Я дам вам больничный на неделю.
So I will give you a bolnichny. I'll give you a bolnichny for a week. A bolnichny is basically, when you're sick and you go to the doctor, you get a doctor's note excusing you from school or work or whatever responsibilities you might have. So a bolnichny is basically that. It's a doctor's report writing you as out sick or authorizing you to be out sick.
Придете через 7 дней.
You can come back in 7 days.
Надеюсь, вы быстро поправитесь.
I hope that you get well soon.
Спасибо. До свидания.
Or I hope that you get well quickly. Thank you. Goodbye. Okay, so that was a very normal dialogue. And next dialogue, what do we have here? This is not a doctor, but a dentist, a dentist. And here we have a больной, which is interesting because here they use the word pacient and here they use the word больной. As far as I know, больной doesn't specifically mean a dental patient. It's just bol or bolit means, bol is like pain and bolit is like sick. So I guess a больной is like a sick person and pacient is more generally a patient. But there's not really an English equivalent for distinction. So I guess in English you just translate both of these as patient. Anyway, so what does the dentist and the больной, what do they have to say to each other?
Так, что у вас там? Давайте посмотрим.
Доктор, у меня болят зубы. Я не могу есть, пить тоже не могу, ни горячее, ни холодное.
Да, у вас серьезное воспаление. Когда вы были последний раз у зубного?
3 года назад. Я не очень люблю лечить зубы.
А надо ходить каждые полгода. Вам надо вырвать этот зуб. Если этого не сделать, то проблемы будут у всей челюсти.
А больно будет?
Нет, больнее, чем сейчас, уже не будет. Так, открывайте рот и молчите. Ну вот и все. Совсем не больно. Я выпишу вам лекарство. Будете принимать в течение 5 дней. И еще полоскание. Каждый день 2 раза. А лучше 3. В течение недели. Все.
Спасибо, доктор.
A little bit of theater going on there. Okay, so the dentist says,
Так, что у вас там?
what do you have there? I guess he means like what's. I guess he means what's wrong with you, like what sickness do you have? But it's just generally like what do you have there?
Давайте посмотрим.
Let's take a look.
Доктор, у меня болят зубы.
So he has pain in the zubi, in the teeth. He has pain in the teeth.
Я не могу есть,
I cannot eat.
пить тоже не могу, ни горячее, ни холодное.
Drink also I cannot, neither hot nor cold.
Да, у вас серьезное воспаление.
So you have a serious воспаление. You have a serious inflammation.
Когда вы были последний раз у зубного?
When were you the last time at the dentist? Also, it's interesting that they use the word dentist and zubnovo, which both also basically mean dentist. They're both basically the same thing. I don't really know what the difference is. I mean, obviously, dentist is like an English, kind of like an Anglicism, but I don't know if there's synonyms or if there's some distinction.
3 года назад.
3 years ago.
Я не очень люблю лечить зубы.
Pity. I don't really like to get my teeth лечит, which is, I guess, like treated. I don't like to have my teeth treated.
А надо ходить каждые полгода.
But you need to go every half year. Polgoda is a half year, so you need to go every half years, every 6 months.
Вам надо вырвать этот зуб.
You will need to have this tooth extracted.
Если этого не сделать, то проблемы будут у всей челюсти.
Челюсти, your jaw. So if you don't do that, then there will be problems with your whole jaw.
А больно будет?
Will it hurt?
Нет, больнее, чем сейчас, уже не будет.
No, more than it already hurts, it will not.
Так, открывайте рот и молчите.
So, rot is mouth, so open your mouth and молчите, so be quiet. So open your mouth and shut up, or be quiet. Don't say anything.
Ну вот и все.
Well, that's it.
Совсем не больно.
It doesn't hurt at all. I like how the dentist informs him, like he doesn't ask, does it still hurt, or are you in pain? The dentist informs him, it doesn't hurt at all. I think the patient may contradict the doctor's or the dentist's opinion there somewhat.
Я выпишу вам лекарство.
So, I write you some лекарства, I write you some medications, or I prescribe you some medications.
Будете принимать в течение 5 дней.
You will need to take them in 5 days, or for the next 5 days.
И еще полоскание.
Еще полоскание. And one more, and also rinse, basically like rinse your mouth with, I guess, with mouthwash.
Каждый день 2 раза. А лучше 3.
Every day 2 times, but better is 3.
В течение недели.
For the entire week, or for 1 week.
Все.
That's it.
Спасибо, доктор.
Thank you, doctor. Okay. All right, so, and we have even a third dialogue. Here now we have a dialogue between 3 people. There is Valeri, which is in case you didn't know, is a man's name in Russia. Don't confuse it with Valerie, which obviously in the West is a woman's name. Valery in Russia is a man's name. And then we have John, obviously John, and then Christina must be the woman here. So what do Valery, John, and Christina have to say to each other?
Джон, что с тобой? Ты второй день плачешь. Что-то случилось?
Ничего.
Ты расскажи нам, станет легче.
Что рассказать?
Ну, расскажи, почему ты в последние дни такой грустный? На улице весна, птицы поют, цветы цветут.
Вот именно, цветы цветут. У меня началась аллергия.
А, понятно. Ну, теперь это на месяц.
Спасибо, я сам знаю.
А почему ты не лечишься? Есть же много лекарств.
У меня аллергия на химические препараты тоже.
Ого, не повезло.
Моя бабушка говорит, что помогает сельдерей или лимон. Есть еще специальная мазь, она сама ее делает.
Угу. Из чего?
Ну, откуда я знаю, но всем помогает.
Кристина, понимаешь, я раньше пробовал все лекарства, но на них у меня тоже аллергия. Дерматит, чихание, конъюнктивит. Так что мне надо только переждать это время.
Или взять отпуск и уехать туда, где еще нет весны. В Исландию, например.
А что, это мысль.
I don't know how realistic his idea was, but okay. So, Valery says,
Джон, что с тобой?
John, what's with you?
Ты второй день плачешь.
You, for the second day, placzesz, cry. So you're crying for the second day now.
Что-то случилось?
Did something happen?
Ничего.
Nothing.
Ты расскажи нам, станет легче.
Tell us. Maybe it will make things easier.
Что рассказать?
What am I supposed to say? Or what? Tell what?
Ну, расскажи, почему ты в последние дни такой грустный?
Well, tell us why you're so sad the last few days.
На улице весна, птицы поют, цветы цветут.
The цветы цветут. Outside it's spring. The birds are singing and the flowers are blooming.
Вот именно, цветы цветут.
That's it exactly. The flowers are blooming.
У меня началась аллергия.
With me started my allergies. I guess in English this is typically specifically given the name hay fever, like, spring allergies because of pollen. But yeah, so my allergies started up.
А, понятно.
Oh, I get it.
Ну, теперь это на месяц.
Well, it'll go on for a month.
Спасибо, я сам знаю.
Thanks, I already know that myself.
А почему ты не лечишься?
Why don't you get some medication?
Есть же много лекарств.
Or why don't you get it treated? There are a lot of лекарства, there are a lot of medications.
У меня аллергия на химические препараты тоже.
I also have an allergy to chemical preparations.
Ого, не повезло.
Ooh, that's not good. That's unfortunate.
Моя бабушка говорит, что помогает сельдерей или лимон.
My grandmother says that what helps is celery or lemon.
Есть еще специальная мазь, она сама ее делает.
Специальная maz. There's also a special maz, like an ointment, which she makes herself.
Угу. Из чего?
From what? Like what does she make it out of?
Ну, откуда я знаю, но всем помогает.
Well, how do I know? But maybe it helps.
Кристина, понимаешь, я раньше пробовал все лекарства.
Christina, understand, I previously tried all medications.
Но на них у меня тоже аллергия. Дерматит, чихание, конъюнктивит.
A lot of medical terms are fairly international. They're similar in other languages. So he says, I'm allergic to everything. And then what he said was, first he said dermatit. Dermatitis. Derma is the skin in Russian, just as it is in English, the dermis. Do not confuse this with dermo. Dermo is a Russian swear word, which basically means like something dirty. So if you say dermo, that's a bad word, but derma is normal. That's just the skin. Чихание, which is sneezing, and then conjunctivit, conjunctivitis, which is, inflammation of the eye.
Так что мне надо только переждать это время.
Или взять отпуск.
So he said, so I just need to wait this time. I need to wait.
И уехать туда, где еще нет весны. В Исландию, например.
А что, это мысль.
So Valeri's suggestion was, or go on vacation to a place where there's no, where it's not spring. To Iceland, for example. Well, yeah, there's an idea. I don't know how practical it is to go to Iceland every year for spring, but I guess you can try it. Maybe it helps. Who knows? So, so here are the symptoms of common diseases. So, yeah, stomatit is... I don't really know what stomatitis is. I guess it's some kind of folk name for, because there's in English there's what they call the stomach flu, but that's also completely unscientific. The so-called stomach flu is not a flu at all. It's just like it's a digestive, it's like a stomach, I don't know, infection or whatever. But it's not the flu. Flu is completely different. Appendicit, appendicitis. Allergia is allergy. Grip is flu, and ushib is and I guess just a general injury. So what do we have here? Now we want to list the symptoms for various diseases. So yeah, for grip, the flu, there are 8 symptoms. For appendicit, there are 3 symptoms. Stomatit, 4 symptoms. Ushib, an injury, there are 3 symptoms. And then allergia, there are 6 symptoms. I think most of them are already listed here, but not all. For example, you see 5 things listed here for allergies, but they expect 6 here. So let's see what we have here. I guess we can do these in order, huh? So grip, flu. So we have vоспаление, inflammation. Кровоточивость, krov is blood, so this is bleeding. Неприятные ощущения во рту, so uncomfortable feelings in the mouth. Боль в мышцах, pain in the muscles. Боль в правой части живота, pain in the... It's interesting how they specifically say pain in the right side of the abdomen. Specifically saying the right side, I'm going to say right now that's got to be appendicitis. I'm not even a doctor, but I mean, I know that the appendix is like on your right side, so that's got to be... Do they list that here? I mean, I guess... yeah, правой части. So so specifically on the right side of your abdomen is a symptom of appendicitis. Okay, озноb, again, chills. Тошнота, nausea, like feeling like you're going to throw up. Слабость is weakness. Чихание is sneezing. Слезы is, I guess it's like... I think слезы are tears, so like watering of the eyes. Dermatit, again, is dermatitis. Головная боль, head pain, headache. Насморк, I think running nose. Боль is pain. Кашель is a cough. Температура, obviously, is temperature, fever. Опухоль is a tumor. I think a tumor is probably a symptom of a tumor. I mean, they don't have cancer in the list here. Maybe they mean like, I don't know. Кровоподтек is bruising. Again, krov is blood, so like blood, because bruising is basically a gathering of blood on the surface of the skin, I guess. So kровоподтек. And отек is, I guess the medical term in English is edema, which is like inflammation of the skin surfaces or something like that. Okay, so what do we have here? What are the actual answers here then? Like, I'm not a doctor, but I guess, I mean, like I said, many of these are given here. So like for grip, for the flu, actually we have That's interesting. Actually, they list 7 things here. Oh, they list 7 things here for the flu, but there are 8 things we need to check off here. So what do we have? So headache, головной bol. Obviously, yes, flu. You often have a headache. Slabost, yes, weakness, common in the flu. Oznob, which was what was oznob? That was chills, right? So yeah, if you have a temperature, that's often, and kashiel, which is coughing, wasn't it? Yeah. Zalužen nos, so runny nose. Here it's called nasmork, which I believe is the same thing. Temperatura, yes, temperature, fever. And bol v mishtzach, pain in the muscles. Yes, that's right. Muscle cramps or like joint and muscle pain is a symptom of the flu as well. Okay, so what are we missing here? There's one other thing that I think we. Oh yeah, it is. Yes, chichania, sneezing. So they don't list that here. For some reason, there's like one thing missing here. But yeah, chichania is, I think, the other symptom of a flu that you're supposed to mention here. So now we have 8 things that should take care of the grip, the flu. I forgot to look at this full list here. I mean, this is not really. No one likes to be sick. When we do not feel well, we often go see a doctor. And if you're talking to a Russian doctor, it's really important to know how to explain what is wrong. That is true. So yeah, so you have to just use this as a glossary, I guess, for this lesson. This is actually really useful. I mean, like I said, this is, hopefully something you don't need to use too often, but obviously if you are in Russia and you need to go to the doctor or hospital for some reason, it is important to be able to communicate. I think many doctors often do speak English, but don't count on it. At least don't expect them to be able to use English very productively or proficiently. Okay, so let's move on. So that, I think we took care of the grip, the flu. Let's see what we have next. We have appendicitis. So this one is more straightforward. We have, they actually list 5 symptoms here. We only need 3. So, actually, no, I think these are, really? Повышение температуры. I think these go together. Yeah, both правой части живота. So pain on the right side of the abdomen. It's 2 lines, but it's one thing. Повышенная температура. Like an elevated temperature, I guess. Even though here they just say temperature. Okay, that's fine. And then toshnota, which was, again, toshnota was nausea. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I've never had appendicitis, thank goodness, but I can just imagine it must be quite terrible. Yeah, symptoms are probably quite dramatic. Anyway, okay, moving on. Stomatit, and I still don't know exactly what stomatit is. Stomatit is like, I mean, yeah, in English it's stomatitis, but what is that? Is it just like stomach inflammation? I don't know. Anyway. So here we have vоспаление, which was inflammation, in this case obviously of the stomach. Кровоточивость, bleeding. Temperatura, again, temperature is kind of like a catch-all thing, like almost any kind of sickness, your body tends to react with a fever. And неприятные ощущения во рту, unpleasant feeling in the mouth. So everything was here at the top except for temperature. Moving on, ушиб, an injury, pretty straightforward. When you have an injury, you have pain. I mean, you probably know when you get injured. Unless it's like an internal injury, you'll probably notice when you get injured. Obviously, bol, yes, pain is an obvious symptom. Opuchol, Opuchol, which was, what was Opuchol again? Opuchol was swelling. Okay. Oh, I said tumor before. Okay. Swelling. Okay, sorry. Swelling, not a tumor. Gosh. And what's the other thing that you get with an injury? Kровоподтек. Yes, bruising. Also fairly obvious. I mean, if you get injured somewhere, yeah, you'll be bruised. I mean, you don't really need to tell a doctor, hey, doctor, I have bruising. You just kind of show them the site of the injury. They'll probably figure out what happened. Okay, and finally, allergia, 6 symptoms. So we have чихание, which I believe that was sneezing, right? Yes. We have слезы, which is tearing up, like watering of the eyes. We have dermatitis, like skin irritation. Насморк, runny nose. And отек. Отек being, edema, like skin inflammation. What is the difference between edema and dermatitis? They're both swelling of the skin, aren't they? I don't know. I'm not a doctor, obviously. But there's a sixth thing here for allergies that we're supposed to check off. Let me see. What was the sixth thing for allergies? Кашель. There we go. Кашель being a cough. Okay, so кашель, cough is the sixth thing. There we go. Those are the answers for exercise 4. Okay, exercise 5, listen to the audio and choose the correct answers. So we have a little audio file here. So what do we have in the picture? We have obviously lemon, some kind of, is this kompot? Kompot is like a popular sort of Russian fruit drink, but I don't know if that's actually kompot. But these are both like some kind of fruit drinks. Med, honey, and this is probably, it could be coffee or tea, but obviously in this context it's more likely that you'll drink chai tea when you're sick. So let's listen in.
Народные методы лечения гриппа. Русские люди не любят болеть, но очень любят лечиться. Таблетки, мази, микстуры, пилюли, разные лекарства. Но больше всего русские любят народную медицину. Это же средства, проверенные веками. На каждую болезнь найдется несколько десятков народных рецептов. Конечно, не все из них можно сделать в современных условиях, но некоторые из них очень просты и дешевы. Так, например, каждый русский знает, что при гриппе лучше всего помогает чай и теплые напитки. Чай с лимоном и медом – универсальное средство не только от простуды, но и от гриппа. На ночь можно выпить чай с малиной или черной смородиной. Малина снимает жар и понижает температуру, поэтому ее можно пить только тогда, когда есть высокая температура. В черной смородине содержится большое количество витамина С. От кашля хорошо помогает калина. Можно пить с ней чай или протирать с сахаром, или просто есть по чуть-чуть в течение дня. Лук и чеснок также необходимы, если вы лечитесь самостоятельно. В период эпидемии гриппа рекомендуется ежедневно съедать небольшую луковицу или несколько зубчиков чеснока. Лук и чеснок содержат природные растительные антибиотики. Но лучше всего, конечно, сначала посоветоваться с врачом, а народные методы лечения использовать как дополнение к медицинским средствам.
Okay. I realized that was quite a lot, but she was mostly just describing the different types of folk remedies. So it's interesting, she talks about народные медицины. So народные usually means national, but here it means really like not national in the sense of a country, like not national in the political sense, but more like in the social sense, like, the nation in the sense of a people and not in the sense of a political state, which I guess is kind of like the more general meaning of, of national. And a nation is, today we associate the idea of a nation with a political state, but a nation can also be a people independent of a political state. So anyway, so she talks about the народные медицины, the national medicines, or like what we'd call in English folk medicines, I guess. But you start off saying Russians don't like something, but they love something. So Russians don't like to work, but they like to rest. That might be true, but that's not what she said. Russians don't like to be sick, but they love medications. That's what she said. Russians don't like to be sick, obviously, but they love medicine. Russians don't like to talk, but they like to do. That's debatable. I guess that depends on the Russian. Probably more true for men, not so much true for women. Sorry if that's sexist, but that I think that just... Anyway, so she said, Russians don't like to be sick, but they love medicine. Русские люди очень любят. So Russian people really like геомепатию. So Russian people really like homeopathy. Традиционную медицину, traditional medicine, or народную медицину, folk medicine. I guess folk medicine is traditional medicine, but the word she said was народную медицину, national medicine, or again, what we'd call folk medicine. Usually the word народный in Russian means national, like a Народный bank, a national bank, or Народная библиотека, National Library, but okay. При гриппе лучше всего помогает, so before the or not before, not pre isn't, it's not pre, it's pre. In case of the flu, what helps best is vodka с перцем, vodka with pepper, чай с лимоном и медом, tea with lemon and honey, or Coca-Cola. Yes, Coca-Cola is definitely part of the Russian folk medicine. Obviously, vodka with pepper might be more common Russian folk medicine, but no, let's be serious. It's obviously tea with lemon and honey. Malina, kalina, smorodina. Malina are raspberries. Kalina are, what are kalina? It's also some kind of berries. And smorodina are like currant. So you know how in English there's red currant and black currant. In Russia, those berries are super popular. In the West, you don't see people selling currant berries a lot. Like they're not widely consumed as common foods. But in Russia, people love red currant. It's everywhere. People really love it, and you can buy it in every supermarket. It's common. So what are these things? Are they fruits, vegetables, or berries? Well, I think berries are technically fruits. So actually, technically, I guess the first and the second answers are correct, but I mean, they are more specifically berries. Yes, ягоды. Okay, and finally, лук и чеснок нужно есть. So, onions and garlic need to be eaten в период эпидемии гриппа, in the period of an epidemic of the flu, за обедом, at lunch, or на завтрак, for breakfast. Well, I don't know if there's a law about this, but they said that, onion and garlic should be eaten in the time of a flu epidemic. I wonder if the Russians are mandating eating onions and garlic in the time of the coronavirus. Anyway, okay, so let's move on. So we have a couple exercises more, just need to fill in a few blanks. It shouldn't take too long, hopefully. So let's see, what do we have here? These are actually all different words. These are all different forms of bol or bolien or boliet. So these are all basically forms of being sick. So this actually, I actually don't have the right word there. It's actually bolno. It's actually мне больно, which basically means I'm sick or I'm in pain. Это невыносимая боль. This is unbearable pain. Мне срочно надо к врачу. I immediately need to go to the doctor. Michael был очень... so Michael was very... болен. Michael was very sick. И не смог пойти с нами на football. And could not go with us to the football game. Ich сын часто something. Their son is often sick. So, here it's actually болеет. Их сын часто болеет. У него слабый иммунитет. Their son is often sick. He has a weak immunity. У папы something spina. So, dad has a... болит, a sickness or condition of the spine or of the back. Он вчера слишком много работал в саду. He yesterday worked too much in the garden. На что жалуетесь больной? Больной here is patient, actually, not sick, but a patient. So what are you complaining, I guess? What are you complaining about, patient? Всю зиму он проходил больной. Oh, it's actually the same word as the previous one. So all winter he was sick. And finally, Dieter очень... so once again, Dieter is very sick. Сейчас он отдыхает. Now he is resting. Okay, and last one here, здоровье. So this is the opposite. Здоровье is health or healthy. So let's see what we have here. Если хочешь быть something. So this is actually just здоров. Закаляйся. What exactly does закаляйся mean? Let's go ahead and check Wiktionary. Let's just get a second opinion on this word. Okay, so it's the form of the verb закаляться, which means to become strong and healthy. So this is a good idea. If you want to be healthy, then become healthy. That's pretty good advice. You know, when you go to the doctor and you tell the doctor, I want to be healthy, the doctor tells you, you know what? If you want to be healthy, what you should do is be healthy. And then you pay $5,000 and say, thank you, doctor. That was good advice. That wouldn't have occurred to me on my own. У нашей бабушки прекрасные something. So our mother has beautiful, in this case, health. So здоровье. Our mother has, or I guess, excellent health. Ей 78 лет, и она 3 раза в неделю ходит в бассейн. She is 78 years old, and she 3 times in the week goes to the swimming pool. Как ты? How are you? Скорее. So here I think the word they're looking for is it's actually not quite. So выздоровлять вливать means get well. But here it's выздоровливай скорее. So get well soon. И это очень something, so a very healthy child. Здоровые дети. Она никогда не болеют. They are never sick. And finally, on smoke something за 5 дней. So here again, this is about getting well. So he was able to get well in 5 days. And there you go. That was it. That was lesson 94. So let's review the responses. Again, here this is Russian for get well soon. So dialogue 1 between the doctor and the patient who had the flu. Dialogue 2 between the dentist and the patient who unfortunately didn't go to the dentist often enough and needed to have a tooth extracted. Dialogue 3 about this poor gentleman with hay fever who not only is allergic to flowers but also to medication against his allergies. He's allergic to anti-allergy medication, which is kind of a bad spot to be in. Here are the correct answers for exercise 4. So with the flu, you have these symptoms. With appendicitis, you have these 3 symptoms. With stomatitis, you have these symptoms. Ushib, an injury, you have these 3. And for allergies, you have these 6. This interesting thing about national medicines or folk medicines. Here are the answers for this part here. Answers to exercise 6 and 7. And that was it. That was lesson 94. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you again next time in lesson 95. Until then, пока-пока.